This is Traber. We're creating the technology and the ecosystem for everything building. We're creating a market network which boasts a marketplace and a mobile-first, cloud-based suite of project control tools for builders, consumers, trades, suppliers, for everybody. All on the smartphone, all remote, all mobile, all for building. This is Traber, and this is a building conversation. So good afternoon, this is Tony Huxley from Traber Limited. I'm delighted to welcome you today, and I'm joined by Brett Blandon de Chalane from BDC Building Services. G'day, Brett.
G'day, how are you?
I'm really good. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you making the time to do so today.
Not a problem.
So tell me, talking about the future from the people that you come across within the industry, I mean, let alone yourself, but generally, do you have any view from what you're hearing around the traps about the prospects for the home building, home renovating sector generally?
The grant that's come in, a lot of the cheaper the not contracts that are less expensive.
Yep.
They're getting quite busy, which is good because of that grant.
Bloody oath, no question.
The mid-market doesn't seem to be too
affected by it because it's only in relative to the contract value, it's only 25.
Yep, exactly. And most of the parts of Sydney are above the value where you can get it anyway. So I think Sydney-wise, we don't get too much of it.
Is that in the home reno sector or the home building sector you're referring to?
Oh, the reno.
Yep.
Yeah, the reno sector.
Yep. I know that's your space, but just clarifying, yep.
Other than that, it doesn't seem to be affecting us too much.
Yeah, but at least what has been happening from your perspective, is it fair to say that it's positive?
Yeah, definitely. They've given...
Because there was a heck of a lot of conflicting media reports about, it's not getting any traction and it's too hard and it's too complicated and all that sort of stuff. But when I've spoken to builders, I said, no,
it has picked up a lot for the plumbers. I know my brother, being up the mountains, being smaller sized business, he's picked up a lot from it. So
good.
Yeah, from what I hear from him, it's helping him big numbers, so that's great.
Yeah, but not necessarily your space, but generally it's having a positive impact.
Yeah, I hear a fair bit, and once again the plumbers that are doing bathroom renos and things like that they seem to be sustained by doing those things.
Oh, okay, well that's good to hear. Because we all need good news. Yeah. At the minute, we've had
enough bad.
But we're really good news. And talking about good news, let's turn back our minds back to when it wasn't so good. Not all that long ago, the amount of building drama in the media was just relentless there for a period with buildings that hadn't been completed properly and people having to move out. And I get it. That's not necessarily your sector of the industry, but everything in building reflects on guys like you. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
So with all that checkered history of recent with the media, and the fact that there's obviously the looming new legislation that makes home building and the obligation on builders even more arduous than what it has been to date, do you think that there's even bigger change coming, more upheaval coming? What do you think?
I don't think it's going to get any easier. These days, people, it's all about speed. You got the three factors. You got speed, cost, and quality. That, for me, it's very rare that you get all three.
Yeah.
And if someone's getting all three, well done. But it's a challenge to get all three.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants it quick, and to get it at a good cost, and to get it to the top quality. Some of those big companies like that are pushing things. And once again, you're loading the trades up on top of each other, where you've got waterproofers coming in and you've got plasterers trying to plaster the ceiling while the waterproofers
not intelligent. Yep.
It just cannot happen. And the pushing the speed, everyone wants things quicker and faster, and there's got to be something failing sooner.
But that must be inherently problematic for someone like you, because with the detail work that you talked about before, with like mainly doing period homes and renovations, etc. specifically. Speed in that context is kind of a challenge, isn't it? Because it's so time consuming.
For me, that's one issue. You've got the speed of building a house. You've got the speed of getting your qualification license, builder's license, carpenter's license.
Yep.
When I did mine, it was 3 years, 3 nights a week, and before that, I know, the older fellows I used to work with, it was 5 years and things like that. And the knowledge that you get for doing hard yards, educational wise, is why you become quite well qualified, and then you do your trade with someone that's quite well qualified. Some of these people now, they're pushing builder's license through in 12 months. 12 months, how can you do your trade, that's great, but if someone's fresh from a trade 4 years and then you go do your builder's license in 12 months, you need a few more years under your belt before you can actually do something substantial. But now you can. So if you can go through university and go straight into a high-rise building and supervise, what are you supervising?
Everything David Chandler, the New South Wales Building Commissioner, is talking about is the opposite of that. Is that, it's got to be tougher, it's got to be tighter, it's got to be harder, it's got to be firmer, and it's got to be for good reasons. So, to hear that people are getting through it in 12 months is just a little bit scary.
And to get your license when I was younger, it was $1,100. You had to do your 3 years and your trade.
Yeah.
Get your license. Now you can do your university degree, which you've got very little practical experience, and then...
Which doesn't help in the building land.
No, then you could do your diploma and you can get a supervisor's ticket to do high-rise, or a builder's license to do, multi-storey. Oh.
Sounds like a contradiction in terms, though, with all the other agendas that the government's got with legislation around building.
For me, being a 20-year-old apprentice, because I was an adult apprentice, to go into a residential building and get smacked by an older builder, kicked into gear to say this is the way things need to happen, and it needs to be methodical. If it's not methodical, you're liable. How can you... It's very difficult to, in my opinion, to control one house and get it right. To do a multi-storey right is very difficult.
Yeah, a house is bad enough, but a multi-storey, it's a whole other...
with people that care.
Yeah.
With the trades that are responsible. And, I'm responsible at the end of the day, which is why I'm there. But if you're a multi-storey company and people turn up and they're just there to put in concrete, they get paid per cubic metre. If the steel's not supposed to be there, and it's over there, they don't pour the concrete, they get paid.
And these are people saying it's okay who have basically not had any on-the-ground experience.
Yeah, care factor is a big thing, and for someone to walk in and go, okay, that's not right, that's not right, that's right, so either certifies, supervisors.
So it must get on your goat then when you hear constantly... the dodgy builder, which is just such an incongruous thing to say 100%. Because there's 390,000 building companies out there and most of them are just normal human beings doing a hard day's work and doing it properly. How else?
In my opinion, if they spun the wheel around and put the residential builders into doing some of those high-rise buildings, you would see the quality go up, because they'd be on every trade going, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do those things, whereas the high-rise building people, I think it'd be quite a challenge for them to turn around and to do a residential building with the clients, with all the trades, and actually be hands-on there every day rather than in an office doing.
Let alone the fact that, and you correct me if I'm wrong here because you'd know better, but builder's warranty on multi-storey buildings...
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I don't want to say it doesn't exist, but above a certain number of stories, it doesn't exist.
I don't know, but for me, I know that home warranty insurance is for residential. I'm not too sure if it's commercial. I don't even know if you need...
I think it's above three floors. It's not valid, but which to me just seems like a contradiction in terms. But it must wind you up though that the exposure that the industry is unfavourably getting is about a handful of multi-storey buildings that have been done badly, and and it reflects poorly on an industry that's massive. Yeah,
where does it all starts at the ground, in my opinion. Once again, it all starts at the ground. If something's not done properly structurally, it's excavation, it's concrete, it's steel work, and they're things that pretty hard to supervise if you don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
If you haven't done steel fixing for 2 or 3 years, at least you really don't know what you're looking at and how they've tied it off and things like that. Whereas
And
if you come out of
refresher
university,
courses,
you have
maybe.
a great knowledge. You have great knowledge of the building industry. Don't take that away from them. But the actual practical
Yeah.
walking there and going, okay, that should be there. Show the plans that you haven't done this, that. You know, so some old concreter blokes will walk in, very uneducated. They'll come in and they'll pick things to bits.
But they know.
Yeah. You know, and I think that's very hard to govern. That's something that these companies are obviously missing.
But it's the rest of the industry that's suffering as a result of it. And that's
definitely. And the dodgy builder thing, they should call it dodgy commercial building, or a dodgy residential.
Look, I mean, there's people of unsavoury character in every industry on earth, but it's just unfortunate, I guess, because the home is such a big part of everyone's lives. It gets more media attention than other things.
Well, what's the most expensive thing in people's lives? Their kids, their house, then their car, and we're up in the top 3.
That's it. Brett Bland de Shalane from BDC Building Services, thanks so much for making the time to join us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Much welcomed anytime.
Good on you.
Cheers.